In this video I'm going to show 4 different ways to do rust. This is going to be the first one. Start off with Rhinoxide. The second coat, you want to use an old brush like this where the bristles are spread out, and I'm using Wiser Rust paint. You want to make sure you haven't got too much paint on the brush. So although this is actually supposed to be a dry paint, it's actually got quite a lot of moisture in it. If it's too much, use a piece of towel or back of your hand just to get rid of that excess. Now, because the bristles are spread, all you have to do is dab it on. Some areas it'll apply more paint than others, and you just slowly build it up. This next stage I would say is optional. However, doing this type of rust on weapons, I would suggest applying this. You want a small amount of lead belcher. I'm going to do it with a piece of sponge, and what you want to do is you want to cover the edge where the blade would be, because an area like that, the rust will get chipped off. So all you need to do is dab it onto the edge. You may want to put some on the opposite side as well for the backswing, because obviously sometimes the backswing is going to hit things, and once again therefore it would chip off some of that rust. At this stage you can see how the rust has been applied. In some areas it will pull more than others, so what you might want to do is you might want it to end up repeating the process, but being more specific next time around. So for example, you might want to add rust here, because obviously that'd be a place where you get a build-up of rust. This method's quite easy. All you have to do is apply your layers of silvers first, and after that thin down some Agrax Earthshade with some Lahmian Medium, and the job's done. This is part 3 of painting rust. First off, I've covered the areas with Rhinoxide. Secondly, I'm using some weathering powder. This particular one is called Oxide Red. I've added a bit of Lahmian Medium into it to thin it out like this, and then you just need to start putting it in quite roughly. If you feel in some areas it's a bit too thick, add a little bit of water to your brush and it'll thin it out slightly. For this method, get some weathering powder and apply some water to the weathering powder. Apply it into the areas where you've got your recesses, and then you just have to leave it to dry. Remember, this time it's important to use water with your weathering powder, not use something like Lahmian Medium. Lahmian Medium will actually turn it into a paint, and you don't want it to turn into a paint, so use water. Once it's had time to dry, you can then use a cotton bud over the area to wipe off any of the excess, and it will leave the weathering powder in all the cracks. Previously I've covered oxidization, which is your silver metals and how they end up with a orange type effect due to the rust. Now what I want to cover is the chromization, which is the rusting of brass and copper. So I start off by painting them with a gold paint first, and then after that I've mixed some Lahmian Medium with some green weathering powder. One last thing I'd like to mention for this video: some people seem to think that gold tends to rust and gold does not rust. So if you want something to look gold, don't try and make it look rusty. If you like the video, remember to like, share, and click on the button on the lower right hand side to subscribe.